Alright, in this video today, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can start your own lawn care business. In 2 months, you could have up to 15 customers, and here's how you're going to do it. So number 1, the biggest step, what I always give to advice people when I talk about how to start your own business, is that you need to know that to start a lawn care business, you have to have customers, right? And to have customers, you have to go out and you have to network. So for number 1, you can start with people in your family, you can start with people that you know, your neighbors, and you can keep going. But you have to find people, just kind of like a restaurant. When a restaurant opens up, the restaurant's not going to be like, oh, we're just going to magically make a Taco Bell here and then never say that there's going to be a Taco Bell here. They always have they have a grand opening. They have signs that saying like Taco Bell is going to be here within two months. Panda Express is going to be here within 2 months, letting you guys know like, hey, this is when it's going to be here. So what you could do before, if you want to look into that, into starting your own lawn care business, is know what it's really about and try to find customers before you actually go out and purchase equipment. Now, if your dad or your mom or your uncle lets you borrow his lawnmower, that's great. But you have to get customers, and you have to let people know that you're in business, because you can't just expect to get customers when no one knows who you are and no one cares about you. So you have to try to make yourself valuable to them. So the second step I have is don't overspend on equipment. For example, I have this weed eater. It's a great weed eater. It's very powerful, and I paid $79 for it at Walmart, and it's really good. And it's I think it's a Hyper Tough, and it's gasoline and it goes off oil. And then I have a Hyper Tough leaf blower right here, and I spent $70 on, which is it takes gasoline and oil as well. And then I spent I got a Briggs & Stratton push mower engine that works really well, self-propelled. And then I have another one that I bought. It's by the same brand, and it works really good. So I have 2 push mowers, a leaf blower, and a weed eater. And so far, I've got 15 customers. Now, what you don't want to go out and do is buy zero turn for no reason. Get you a truck. I use this all in my van. So I have all of this. You can see it's kind of over there in the van. Put it in the back of the van. So number 3, when you really want to focus on, is marketing yourself. So you want to be marketable. So you're really, depending on where you live. So I'm in South Carolina, but if you're in Florida and you're places that are highly competitive, what you want to do is you want to find your niche. You want to go to neighborhoods and scout yards. So the best way to make money is to develop route density. And route density is the route that you take. You have customers within that route. Kind of like the line within this table, right? I don't know if you guys can see that or not. There's a line that goes right here in this table, right? I need customers on each side. That way, I'm not wasting all my gas. If I have two, customers right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, and on the same street, I don't have to spend my time in gas going from street to street, transportation. I could just go knock them all out. And that's what people don't understand is that, yeah, you may get 1 or 2 customers, but if they're 45 minutes away, then is it really worth it, spending all that time in gas? But, one thing you can't do is you can't bullcrap customers. People know how much a reasonable estimate is for their yard. So, for example, I have a 25-yard minimum just to come out. $25, that's it. If I get out the car, if I get out the van, it's $25. And right here, I made my own card, Toby's Lawn Care. And you can see that it says call or text for a free quote, $25 minimum. And it has all my information. And I made this at home. I think it was Office Max or Home Depot. I don't know where it was. But I made this, and I got several hundred business cards for, I think it was $30. Either way, what I did is I knocked on some doors. I went to neighborhoods where I saw that the grass was not cut, and I knocked on doors, and I said, hey, if you'd ever be interested in having someone cut your yard, I'd be glad to help you out. Here's my business card, and give me a call if you've ever need anything. And they usually say, okay, I will. If people who don't answer, just sometimes you don't even want to knock. You just want to put it, put it in their door, like in the crack of the door. Don't open their door if they have like a screen door. Don't open it. Just put it somewhere so they see it. People are really gonna be turned off by that. And do not open their mailbox. Customers do not like that. So don't put anything in the mailbox. That's illegal. So then, one of the biggest tips that I could give people when they're first starting out is you're gonna have to have gas canisters. You're gonna have to have equipment. And you're gonna have to have transportation to get there. And you're also gonna have to have customers. But in those orders, the biggest goal, or not the biggest goal, the biggest step to achieving starting your own lawn care business is to be motivated. Because your first weeks are going to be like, man, I'm getting out there and I'm not really getting any feedback. I'm trying my best. It's not really nothing's really working for me. You got to be dedicated. You have to be motivated, and you have to know that over time you're gonna build a portfolio. And word of mouth is very important. So, for example, my uncle, he remodels homes, and word of mouth. I swear to God, he has not worked a day in his life at a company, and people just know his work, and he just continues to get jobs. And what you want to do is you want to go and get this business card, right? That's not the biggest step. You want to know the people that you're around. You want to know, like, for example, I'm not gonna go into a high end HOA. They already have their grass cut. An HOA where they pay to have their grass cut and hand out business cards, because I could already tell this as a HOA when you see the yards and they're all evenly distributed. You want to go to places that are neighborhoods where people have to cut their own grass in the county, and pick out neighborhoods and go pass out these business cards and say, hey, look, I'm doing this, and look. So, for example, for the front yard, I'll always charge 25, and if there's a back, it's 35, depending on the size of the yard. Now, I did have a yard that was really big, and I was like, you know what? Since he was my first customer, I was like, we'll do it for 45, and he said, that's great. And he gave me 50, and he was like, you know what? Well, we can go 45, and I was like, I appreciate it. And so now, he built my customer, and he literally told me, he's like, you did such a good job that I'm going to if you could give me your business card, which before I put a Facebook post, and that's what I want to get into, Facebook. The number one way that you can get your name out there. So, for example, we live in the upstate of South Carolina. If you want to get your name out there, join Facebook and join the local groups that you have. For example, if you live in Orlando, Florida, there's Orlando, Florida groups that you can join where people buy, sell, and trade things. And you could literally post an ad on Facebook saying that you're offering this service. And then you could list your starting price and your prices. And now what I know that found that customers like is when you give them a price. Now you got to be careful when you do this, and you have to research the area before you do this, and then put the ad out in that area. For example, in Orlando, the houses are very small, so you can get away with $35 a yard because they're so house that you're going to be able to, revenues. You're going to be able to pull in that money to whereas if you live somewhere where like I live, where you have to find yards that are a little bit bigger and the hills and everything, you're going to be charging a little bit more. So what you want is you want to target certain amount of people that have money, and the location is very important. So using Facebook, you can make posts saying, "Hey, I'm new to this," and you can literally go on Google Images and type in lawn care and just copy and paste a picture, put it on Facebook, put your name beside it, literally say, hey, look, I'm cutting grass, this is my starting price. Boom. You put 25 and slash 35, and customers think, oh, wow. And then you say, in your description, you say, I'll come out for a free quote, right? Your goal should be to save money when you're first starting out, is when you come out for the free quote, and you talk to them, you put your phone number, you message them, like, if the price is right and they agree with it, you cut it that day so you can go ahead and get your money. That way you don't have to drive back and forth and waste your gas. So it's all about expenses and how much you're going to profit. So when you got Facebook going, you ask people in your family just to make sure, like your grandma, like for example, my grandma gave me $60 to trim her bushes. And she has someone that cuts her grass. And I was like, Grandma, I would definitely cut your grass. And she was like, okay. And so there's one customer right there. The person that my first customer I met, they messaged me on Facebook. Okay, I made a post on Instagram, and then boom, I got 2 people off that. And then word of mouth, those people that my first customers that saw me on Facebook, they literally told all their friends. And then their friends, I was like, okay, I'll do a discount. Every friend you refer me to and get us a new customer, $5 off. So eventually we're going to be cutting their grass for free because they've already referred 3 to 4 people. And so, 3 more people, and we'll just be stopping by because, you make money that way. You give people deals, but you don't get ripped off. And that's one of the things that people understand with the lawn care business is that the market from the 1970s really hasn't gone up, which you want to get in a business where the trend isn't, it's not a flat line, right? It's not like this, it's like that, right? But you have to find the right customers, and it's not about the size of the yard or the equipment you're using. It's about what people need their grass cut and what people are willing to have it cut. Because most people that I came across needed their grass cut and didn't want it cut and didn't care. And it's the way that you approach. So if you have this business card, right, and you go on and you put in someone's mailbox, which I made a big mistake of. Someone did call me back and wasn't mad, and I had no idea. And then one dude called me and tried to get my license plate and report me. So you have to be careful when you do this, and you have to understand that that you have to be professional. And that's another thing I want to get on. To start a lawn care business, you have to be motivated. You have to want it. You have to really set a goal. You have to have a goal inside of your head. You have to write it down on paper. You have to first visualize it, and then you have to write it down on paper. And then you have to go out and look at your steps that you got to do, and you got to take those steps. And if it's not working, you got to change something that you're doing, because literally, I'm telling you, I did this. And I have a full-time job. I'm off Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. It's 3 days a week. And I cut a yard on the 10th and the 24th. That's a Sunday and what is it? A Sunday and a Friday. And so what I'm saying is that if you really want to start your own lawn care business, you have to get customers. And the number one way to be marketing to your customers is you can say, oh, you could drive a big truck and have your decals, but you're probably not going to get any calls off that. And I look at it this way. There's a lot of people that are cutting grass. It's very competitive. What can you bring to the table? And that's the last point I want to make, is that you may need to learn things. You may be good at cutting grass, but you need to learn how to weed control. You need to learn how to edge the bushes up. You need to learn how to clean out gutters. You need to learn how to pick the trash up. And then you need to learn that the pricing that you're making is not too much, but it's just enough where the customer is like, okay, that's reasonable. And you want to find that balance. And I found that balance for me is 45. Now, I'm going to places where when I'm on my lunch break, my hour lunch, I'm literally getting in my car, driving to the next neighborhood, and just passing out business cards. And a woman called me, and she wants her gutters done. And she's like, do you do gutters? And she didn't see it on the business card. I was like, of course I can do gutters. You know why? Because I like money, and I need to learn things. So, of course, I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not going out there and saying if a customer wants you to cut down a tree, go buy a chainsaw. But what I'm saying is, if you're available and you know that you can do it, there's no point to say, oh, well, I know a guy. Because that customer, that's how you build relationships. You start to do things for people, and they want things done. And if you do a great job, then they'll call you back. So just to wrap this all up, number one, you have to find customers. Number two, you have to have equipment. Number three, you have to have money to do this. Number four, you have to have a vehicle to get around. Number five, you have to be motivated, and you have to utilize all your social media marketing. You have to utilize getting a business card. You have to utilize the people you know, utilize a word of mouth, and then you have to be motivated. And you have to put all this on, visualize it first, put it all down on paper, and then chase and chase and chase. And I promise you, the harder you work towards your goal, you're gonna. And this works with everything in life. If you have a goal set out that you want to reach, literally all you have to do is visualize what you planned out to do. People don't understand this. It's not, there's no magic trick. It's literally hard work. You just have to do it. People call hard work when you use your head. That's not hard work. That's easy. What's hard work is literally physically doing things. It's not hard work to come up with a goal and be like, man, I could reach that. And I'm so tired of dealing with people who are like, man, you can never do that. You can never do this. And I'm like, really? And I used to be like, yeah, you're probably right. And now I'm like, no, you're not right. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try my best. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to come back and I'm going to adjust. And literally, you just learn on the fly. When customers, for example, I had a customer who said that I came by her house because I didn't really see her yard in the back. She had so many holes and so much trash and so many leaves. And it's literally almost June. And I told her 40. And I said 35 or 45. But her yard, it should have been 60. And she said, well, you told me 40 and someone did it for 40. And I was like, okay, well, we'll do it for 40. But just know going forward that you do have a lot of holes in your backyard. And it might be a little more depending on my evaluation. And so she was like, okay, but you told me 40. So I just went with it. You know, I didn't want to, she was one of my newer customers. She was like my 5th customer. So I said, okay. And then she gave me 45, and I was like, okay. And then we left. And, you know, I made a Facebook post, and then that same day, a dude called me back, and he wanted trees removed from his yard. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not too experienced with the chainsaw. I have some experience, but I'm not too experienced. And essentially he wanted me to come out, and so I cut down some trees, and I charged him $50, and it was easy. The city will come pick him up. But either way, guys, stay motivated. Know that you have to have equipment. Know that you have to have customers. Know that you have to know how to market yourself, and know that you have to have money to do all this. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll get back to you guys later.